Hi, I'm Joe Shepley, Vice President and Practice Leader at Doculabs. Today I want to talk about a hot topic, application decommissioning. Now, traditionally this has been the job of IT, folks who care and feed for either the applications or the environment that the applications live in, that is the data center. And it hasn't been a particularly hot topic. It tends to fall under routine maintenance, hygiene, the stuff that happens in the basement in IT that business folks are not really concerned with. But lately, primarily due to high-profile breaches at Sony, Target, Anthem, Home Depot, Primera, and so on, application decommissioning has really come to the fore. And if you think about what's in these applications, that's not hard to see why. You've got billing systems, claims systems, provider management systems, vendor management systems, all of them filled with sensitive data, whether that's health information, personally identifiable information, payment card industry information, or even just intellectual property for a firm. And so making sure those applications are only running when they're supposed to and are taken offline when they don't need to be used is critical to the Chief Information Security Officer, because those applications, if they're running when they're not needed and they contain billing information, credit card information, health information, and so on, potentially exposes the company to hundreds of thousands, if not millions or tens of millions, of sensitive data records that are of no business use. Huge, huge risk surface and risk to the organization. And so at Doculabs, we're seeing an increased interest in and need for decommissioning those applications in order to reduce the risk associated with the information in them. To do so, organizations should follow 6 general steps. First, gaining stakeholder alignment. The challenge, or one of the challenges with application decommissioning, is that it's not owned by any one person. Yes, there are IT folks who own the application, and network or data center folks who own the storage it's on. Then there's the compliance folks who own, legal, for example, whether that information is part of any discovery. There's information security that owns the privacy dimension of it. There's records management that owns whether those records are up for disposal or should be kept. And finally, there's the business who are trying to use that application to get a job done business-wise. Without getting all of those stakeholders aligned, you can't possibly move forwards. From there, you've got to identify and prioritize the systems to retire. At most organizations, you've got 1.5 to 4 structured data applications per employee. Huge number. And oftentimes, organizations don't know what all those are. They don't have a catalog of them. They don't have an inventory of the applications, what they do, what kind of information, who owns them, how much risk there is, how old they are, and so on. Without that, you can't possibly begin to decommission or manage them. You've got to know what you have first. Third, now that you've got stakeholders aligned and you know what applications you have, you've got to define the plan. So that involves ranking all of these applications by risk and value, whether that's legal risk, privacy risk, operational risk, IT risk, whatever it might be, and value along all those same dimensions, and coming up with a ranking of which one should be decommissioned and which one shouldn't, and what order should I go in. From there, you've got to know what data is inside those target applications, not just claims data or billing information, but much more specifically, exactly what data is in there, what fields, what data objects they relate to, what kind of data, sensitive, junk, stale, whatever it might be, so that as you think about decommissioning application X versus application Y, the information or data implications of that are clear. From there, you want to take any content that's going to be required after the application is decommissioned and put it somewhere else. Typically it's into a flat archive or an archive where it can be accessed kind of like a data warehouse where we don't need the application running, but we can still access the information. And then finally, we retire those applications. Now, I just made that sound pretty simple, and conceptually it is, but the work that has to go on is very difficult. And so in the next series of posts, we'll go through each of those 6 steps, dig into them in a little more detail, and hopefully give you some information you can use to move forward with decommissioning at your organization. Thanks.